Hello Cricuters, and welcome to Cricketing with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and I have missed you so much. I took a little break to travel with my family over the Thanksgiving holiday, but I am back, and today I reached 4,000 subscribers, so thank you so much for that. In today's tutorial, I will be showing you how to do engraved ornaments. What do I always say? I'm in love with how these turned out. Before I show you what they look like, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week, even when I'm out of town, without fail, and I want you to join me on this journey. So now that you've already taken care of that, this is what the finished product looks like. I'll try to hold them up so you can see them behind with this background. Hopefully you got a good view of that. These are files that I've used before. I used these same exact files when I did print then cut ornaments because some people are not ready for sublimation just yet. But if you have a Cricut maker, you are ready for engraving, okay? And so I just used an engraved fill pattern, and I used files that I purchased from design bundles and acrylic blanks, and I put these together and I'm in love with them. So without further ado, let's head on over and look at the materials you will need in order to create a beautifully engraved ornament just like these. The materials that I'll use for this project include my Cricut maker. I'll use a purple strong grip mat, the engraving tip, which is number 41. Make sure you can see that. It's a 41 on there. I'll use a lint roller, masking tape. If you don't have masking tape, you can use painter's tape. I'll use 3-inch acrylic ornament blanks, a design from design bundles, and a file from Clever Someday. I will link that file down below in the description box. Let's head on over to Cricut Design Space and get our file set up. I am in Cricut Design Space and I am connected to my Cricut maker. The first thing that I will need to do is go to my projects where I have the engraving fill already saved. So I will go and find the engraving fill pattern. It is this one that looks like this. It's called Engraving Fill Pattern. That's inspired by Kay Hall's project. It is shareable, and I will make sure it's linked below. I'll click Customize. Okay, this doesn't look like anything. It just looks like a black square or a black rectangle. However, it is a bunch of lines that have been put together to make an engraving fill. Okay, this is what I'll use to make my engraving dark and bold. All right, the next thing that I will do is grab a shape from the shapes tool. I'll grab a circle to represent my template. The size of the blanks that I'm using are 3 inches. So I'll change this 2 to a 3. So once I click up here in the where I'm hovering right here, I'll click on that. I can delete the 2 that's there and just change it to a 3. Changing the 3 on the width automatically changes the height. So it's 3 and 3. The next thing that I'll do is change the circle from a basic cut to a pin because I want to be able to see just the circle, a clear circle. Okay. The next thing I'll do is upload the design that I plan to use. So I'll go to upload. I already have a few files that I've used previously, and I'm going to use them again to do my engraving. Okay, so for example, this one right here that says Christmas begins with Christ is going to come in pretty big, and that's okay. I am going to click down here where my view is on 100%. I'm going to minimize the view to 50% just to bring it down so I can see everything. And then I'm going to change the size of this file to I'm just change the width to 5. Okay. By doing that, I can see it smaller and I can kind of play with it the way I want to. Now I know that I don't want this to be a print then cut file. I want this to be an engraved file. Okay. So what I'll do is change it to engrave, and then I will bring it over. I'll bring it down a little bit. Okay. And I'll bring it over to my engraving fill. I'll just put it right there on top. And then I will select over both the engraving fill and the file that I just put on top, and I will click slice. Okay. Once I slice it, now I can move the engraving fill out of the way, and I can see that the file, let me bring my view up a little bit so you can see it. I can see that my file, so these are scrap pieces. I don't need this. I can see that there are two files that look, pretty much exactly alike. This part right here is up to you. Just choose the one that you think is the cleanest cut or the darkest cut. In my opinion, I think this one is the darkest, the cleanest. So I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to take this one and move it to this circle, and I'm going to resize it so that it fits in the circle nicely and there is no overlap and none of it is touching the outer part of the circle. Okay, so I'm not resizing my circle. My circle is 3 inches, and I like the way this looks. Once I have it where I want it, I'm going to select over both. Okay, so I have the circle and I have my file, Christmas Begins with Christ, and I will attach them. So now what I have is a pen and an engraved file. So this is actually 2 files in one. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my engraving fill, and I'm going to upload another file that I want to use. Okay, I want to use, I'm going to go to view all. Now these files were purchased in a bundle from Design Bundles, and I will make sure to put a link down below in the description box. I like this one that says Jesus is the reason for the season. I'm going to click add to canvas. It's going to come in big. I'm going to reduce it to just 5.0. Okay. And remember, I want to engrave this. Okay, so I have it right here. I'm going to make sure I go ahead and get another. I'm just going to click on, I'll get another circle. I'll grab a shape, which is a circle. I will change it to 3. I will change the circle to a pen instead of a basic cut. And then I will take my file that is right now is uploaded as a print then cut. I don't need to upload it again. I can just change it from a print then cut to an engraved file, and then I can minimize it just a little bit. You don't have to do that part. Just big, as long as it'll fit in your engraving fill and not touch any other part of the file that we just cut from. Okay, so now let me make sure you see that. I'm going to put my file on top of the engraving fill, and then I'm going to slice it. Okay, I'm going to click slice. Okay, my computer is thinking about it. I'm going to move this out. These are just scrap pieces that I don't need. Okay, this is my engraving fill. There are 2 pieces here. So again, I have to look at them and determine which one I think is the darkest. I think I like this one the best. So now I will move this over to my circle and just bring it down until it fits in the circle nicely and there's no overlap and no part of the file is touching the outer circle, the outer rim of the circle. Okay, because remember, when I get ready to put this on my mat, I'm going to have to take this down, and I want to be careful about the placement of the message. Okay. All right, I like the way that looks right there. I didn't use a line to center it. I'm going to just eyeball it, and I'm going to select over both. I'm selecting over the circle and the file, and I will attach them. So now I have 2 ornaments that I can just put together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this. I can delete this, or I can just turn it off. I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. I am ready to go ahead and click make it. Okay, so I'm going to click make it. Okay, and I have 2 ornaments that I'm ready to put on my mat. Now, I am going to engrave mine from the back. Really, it's kind of weird to say that one side is the back because it's a clear acrylic piece, but you'll see what I mean. So instead of just doing them just the way they are, I'm going to actually move them down. So I always, when I'm doing engraving, I like to be strategic about where I place my files. Okay, so I'm going to put both of them in line with one another. kind of just like in a column. Okay, and I'm starting at the 1 and 1 axis, I guess. And I have one file that'll be here and one that'll be here. I am going to mirror these because I'm going to engrave them from the back. And I have two things that my maker will do. It's going to think that there's a pin in there. There won't be a pin in there, and it's going to do engraving for me. I will click continue. Okay, it's telling me to connect my maker. My maker is already connected. It's always connected. Okay, and so what comes up are my options for using my maker for engraving. I'm not going to choose any of these options because I have found a better option. When I'm doing engraving, no matter what I'm engraving, I choose the tooling leather 6 to 7 ounces. Okay, I have found that that works the best. So that's what I'm going to choose. I'm going to click done. Okay, and then it says base material set to tooling leather, move star wheels all the way to the right, make sure material is no wider than 11 inches and it is secured to a strong grip mat using masking tape on all 4 sides, and I am going to do just that. Now it's telling me to load my black pen in clamp A, but I'm not going to do that. I only have my maker thinking that I'm going to use a pen so that I can get my placement right on my mat. So even though it looks like I'm going to have a pen, I'm actually not. I'm not going to put a pen in my maker at all. Okay. I am going to load my engraving tip, and I will show you what mine looks like when it's all taped down. Everything that I'll do from here will be back on the camera. Before I start to tape my acrylic blanks down to my mat, I will use my pen weeding tool to remove the plastic piece. Now I'm only going to remove it from one side for right now because the other side that has the plastic on it will be on the mat. So I'm remembering that I have mine set at the 1 and 1 axis on my I'm going to turn it this way actually. Okay. And just kind of try to make sure that the top piece of your ornament is securely on the mat, and then add tape on all of the outer pieces of the ornament to tape it securely. I have my ornaments taped down securely all the way around. It doesn't matter if some of the engraving goes on the tape, it'll still cut right through that and I'll still get a nice image. My star wheels are moved all the way over to the right. I am using my engraving tip. Okay, so it's number 41. I'll put it right here inside the maker. Make sure it's closed all the way down. I'm not putting anything in the pin clamp, so it's going to go around as if there's a pin in there, but there isn't. Okay, and so I will go ahead and click my flashing C. Now I will take the tape off and just get these removed from the mat. I would not say that I have to be careful and delicate, and because these are acrylic blanks, I think I would have to do a lot of harsh stuff to break them. So I'm not worried about that. All right, let me get my weeding tool, my pen weeding tool, and I will just remove the plastic from this side, and voila. See that? Let me get a piece of paper to put behind it so you can see it better, but I'm sure you can see it really nicely already. Okay, I have a piece of black cardstock right here. So that's what the engraved ornament looks like. I'll add some ribbon to this once I get the other one taken from the mat. I'm very happy with how these turned out. Now, this did take right at about an hour. I started the engraving at 6:49 and they finished right at about 7:40, so just 9 minutes short of an hour, because of the engraving feel, I'm sure. But the engraving feel is what gives it that extra oomph. Okay, so that is that. I will get this cleaned up. Remove from my mat, and I can actually use my weeding tool to get in here, okay, just to get the little pieces out that are stuck in there that my lint roller didn't get out. And I will take the plastic from the other side, and voila. Okay, I'll get some ribbon added and show you what the finished product looks like. Okay, so this is what the finished product looks like, and I am absolutely in love with both of these. And you know, I did my engraving from the back side of it, so I did have to mirror my designs. At any rate, hopefully you're able to follow along with this process and you are able to create beautifully engraved ornaments just like these. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Turn on the bell for notifications because I want you to join me on my journey. All right, thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye.